of Police David Asante says his outfit is deploying more police officers to communities prone to attacks by land guards. The IGP described the growing spate and continuous attacks by land guards on residents in some communities in the country as worrying, and is saying that steps have already been taken to address the situation. He also sent a stern warning to vigilante groups affiliated to political parties to desist from acts of lawlessness, else will face the wrath of the police.
Put some steps in place, and as I've earlier said, it may not be a sudden thing. We are now putting containers at certain land guards prone areas, and police officers will be put there, in the bid to address some of these concerns. It's a very complex issue, but we are doing as much as we can. In fact, also going to engage stakeholders in managing the system.
How does your outfit intend to address the issue where there's been many a times that some police officers' names have been mentioned that they have been compromised one way or the other in some of these land guards issues?
When it is brought to our notice, we investigate the matter and the appropriate action is taken.
Regarding the police overwhelmed with the increasing case of vigilantism?
No. You see, it is our duty, our mandate to ensure law and order. But what somebody intends doing or crime he has intended to commit, sometimes we are unable to prevent it. It does happen, and it is for us to respond accordingly. Well, someone would say that we should live in a society where all these things should not happen. But it's an ideal one, and I don't think it is possible to have a society that is crime-free. They will occur, but our response and how we are able to manage it is what is important.
Is political manipulation one of the challenges the police is facing in dealing with these?
When crimes are committed, we don't give it any color. It's crime. So we deal with it as that. As a police officer, we deal with crimes. If you are from a political party, you commit a crime, we're going to deal with you accordingly and not as somebody coming from another political party. Thank you.
And the Ghana Police Service is also rolling out a series of digital transformation agenda, including going paperless. Paperless this, paperless that, we'll talk about it. But the Inspector General of Police, David Asante, said the objective is really to enhance service delivery and also improve the working condition of officers.
That is applying agile in the way we do things. It means that we don't jump straight onto everything, but we do it incrementally. We have a framework so that after every 28 days we must see what we have done. It does not matter how small it is. So the paperless stations is going to begin on a pilot basis, which eventually we will spread it all over the country. So to tell you about when it's going to get to all stations, it will be difficult for now. But at least I can tell you that immediately after the launch of our transformation program, you will see some pilots going on because we have set certain things in place already.
Okay, so when exactly are we expecting to see the launch?
I think I said it. There's a committee. I don't want to preempt it. So they will come up with the date and then we will announce it to the whole country.
A little breakdown on the paperless. Which areas is it focusing on?
Right. You know, for example, you have before you a suspect and you want to know who is this person. You cannot do it immediately by even the name, perhaps by taking the fingerprint. So if you can digitize the fingerprint and send it immediately to the headquarters where the database is, you are able to get answers for you to progress on your investigations. This is paperless because you are not putting it on paper and you are not putting it for it to be sent to the headquarters. One of our priorities is the officer on the ground, his welfare, and that includes the insurance package that we have for police officers. And we know the dangers that we face. And again, we are unable to meet all the medical claims and other claims brought to the headquarters. And the only way to go about this is to have an insurance package that will enable us, meet these expectations from our people. Because constitutionally, we are supposed to take care of their needs when they are not well. But if the demand overwhelms us, then we need to have something to cushion us. That's why we have the insurance package.
All right, so that is the IGP there at the Agile conference earlier this morning. So I have some of the key people who were part of this Agile program in the studio with me. Is Adekoge John. He is Adekoge John. He's a Agile business consultant, right? Don't worry, I know it's a big word. We'll break it down. Louisa Mensah is also here. She is a UK-based Ghanaian, and she is also a Agile consultant, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this Agile thing, you've been telling me behind the scenes that it is digital transformation, basically. But if you were to break it down, the program that you had today that brought the whole IGP there, which, as he explains, is going to be very crucial to better policing in this country. How do you break it all down so that the person, like my grandmother, if she can speak better English, can understand?
Thank you very much. Agile, every day of our life, we look at how to do what we're doing better. In the past, if you want to do something, say, probably you need to send a message from London to Ghana, it takes over weeks to get that transformation done.
Okay.
But now, at a click of a button, you can get a message straight away to someone in Ghana.
Okay.
So it's about that movement that is going on globally in terms of how do we react to those movements. And taking into consideration we have to compete in this same environment in the international market, we have to react to this change.
Okay.
We have to look at a better way of doing what we're doing now.
Okay.
So Agile, it's a way to help you achieve complex problem and doing it over a period of time.
Right. Speaking of complex problems, we do have a lot in Ghana. So I'll be excited to know how you're introducing this Agile system into Ghana and how it's going to help us solve our problems. And I don't know if which of you is good to go with that question.
We're introducing it in a number of ways. For example, we have the Agile in Africa conference. This is the 3rd year running, and at the moment it's happening at the Labadi Beach Hotel. We also do consultancy for businesses in Ghana, whereby we teach them on how to improve their systems. If you're a business, we infuse IT or technology so that you can improve your return of investment.
Okay, speak English, please.
Okay.
Speak English.
So, I'm sorry, I've got a technical background, so I tend to rattle off. So we teach you how to break whatever you have to do into tiny iterative bits.
Let's start with the police as an example, because we know you're doing something with them. So let's hit the ground running with the police. And what is it? What is this about this Agile thing that's going to make the police service more efficient? Because Ghanaians have a big problem with our police.
Okay, so at the moment the IGP's aim is to make the police one of the best in the world. And most other police in other countries have used Agile, whereby you take anything that is complex, you just strip it down to the barest minimum, and then you build it. You know, it's like having a house. You have to have a foundation.
Right.
So we come in, we look at the issues, and we come up with ways, simple ways that everyone can relate to build it up again.
Okay.
We come up with tiny, we call it iterations, tiny bits, how to improve welfare, how to improve training, how to improve policing, how to give the policemen apps to use so that, for example, if you had a problem and you had an app where you could press, for example, a panic button. A police car can be deployed to your location.
Oh.
These are the kind of things we're trying to do to bring the police to the same standard, because we work in the UK and other countries, and this is what we do there. And so we're bringing that.
It's like transferring best practices back into Ghana.
Yes.
Let's just stick with the police. I think
Okay.
it works better when we stick to the police.
Okay.
I know that this is a system that could be transferred to various organizations, including here at Multimedia. But it's interesting that you mentioned the police. If I should find out from you, the IGP tries to zero in on some of them. He says something like, if you arrested someone and you have to write something on paper. And right now, the headline we'll put out there is Ghana police going paperless. If anybody should say, what does that mean? You've mentioned welfare, you've mentioned, you know, hitting a panic button, etc. Can you be a bit more specific with what exactly you're doing with the Ghana police?
One of those practices we're transferring over, I've just completed a transformation piece with the Ministry of Justice for England and Wales.
Okay.
And that comprises of dealing with the police. And for example, someone commits a crime and the police pick that person on the streets. In the past, they have to take the charge, write it on a paper, go back to the police station, get it processed. But what we did was the fact that as the police is getting the person apprehended, they can send a code to the prosecution lawyer to say, we've arrested this person and we're going to put a charge onto the arrest. And
they start working on it?
Straight away. Were you part of the project? That is exactly what happened, because they've got three options. And the option is either they accept that charge, they reject that charge, or they propose another charge. So at that point, they've put a charge, and the police will make that decision either to release or to put the person into custody. So you can see it's a kind of seamless, but it's a complex problem, but we've been able to address the putting of a charge.
I see.
And
it sounds interesting.
And then just to add to what Goke is saying, for example, if you arrested someone and you took their details, within the click of a button, even in your police car, if you had a small computer with you, by putting in the person's date of birth and name, you could know if he's a repeat offender, what kind of offences, if you're looking for him. It makes you efficient. Instead of taking the person to the police station, getting someone to go look for a file that is all smudged up and maybe the details have all wiped away, and then trying to ascertain what happened before. You have everything on the click of a button. It makes you efficient.
Okay, great. So if this is what Ghana police is going to experience, it's absolutely fantastic. But there is a concern, though. How many of our police officers have computers? Some of them have desktops as huge as, you know, a television. Some of them don't even have internet access. We're just dealing with a story from Asin Fosu, where they don't know, one of the suspects has just bolted, they can't find him, the other one is just walking free. I mean, in the villages, in very remote areas of Ghana, how are they going to experience this sort of efficiency that Agile brings?
That's why it's called transformation, and that's why it's called an iterative approach. Because we look at the problem and you're starting from somewhere and you roll it over where it works well. And say we've got a problem, and everyone, we do have problem in our daily life. We look at the most important ones to address. And when that's done, we move on to the next one. So looking at the rural area, there are so many infrastructures that might be needed. Over time, they'll roll to that place. But what the Ghana police has done, I mean, the Ghana police will be put on the same stage with any police globally. That's
long overdue. But anyway, how maybe that's not a question for you to answer. Maybe the IGP, and we are told that the police service, the IGP says they're going to launch this on some day, that they're going to communicate much later. But then whatever you're doing right now, going paperless, the Ghana police going paperless is starting here in Accra. Is that correct?
Yes, but then the plan is to start, because in Agile we start small and then we roll out and we get bigger and bigger. And like change, everything takes time. If for example, when a baby is born, you can't expect the baby to just pop out and then start running. So they have to creep, they have to learn, they get up, they really, you know, hold stuff, and then they start running. So just like that, that's how it's going to happen. It's going to take time, but it will definitely happen.
I see.
And let's even try, say, I mean, one of these principles will tell us that what we're doing is working. So if we try from a pilot area and it's working, we'll build on that and we roll it over into other areas. So the agile concept is like, let's try what we're doing and let's see it works perfect, and we roll it out.
Okay, I'm going to wrap up with you quickly, but let me find out from you this agile thing. Isn't there any other way that you can we can call it? You know, digital transformation. We've had quite a lot in Ghana, so everybody's going to look at you and think that digital transformation. Is there any simpler way of just dealing, you know, calling it, basically referring it to?
I think it's unfair to ask us to call it any other way than it is, because it's like those doing project management and maybe doing Prince 2 telling them, don't call it Prince 2, because you're not used to it, you deem it as something difficult to be said.
But you're doing it for us, so we need to be on the same level with you.
Yes, but then you also need to, we are trying to get on the same level globally, because Agile is a global movement, it's a worldwide movement. We're trying to get us in Ghana to be able to compete at the same level as someone in America or the US or wherever.
Okay, Agile. So Agile is here to stay. Okay,
yes.
Agile. That's the name. I'll try and stick that on my chest somehow, so everybody will see. Agile comes to Ghana and it's come to stay. In multimedia, for example, my final question for you: if you take a company like us, multimedia here, what would you advise us to do? What will be your? This is free consultancy for us. Okay, what do you think will make us very effective if we were to apply the agile principles?
We probably have to come in and see the way your processes are laid out now.
I can tell you the processes.
No, you can tell me the processes, but it's like an health check. It's like you coming to a doctor and saying, just look at me and tell me what's wrong with me, and the doctor start prescribing. So we have to go through a diagnostic to understand how your process is and see where we have to bake in some improvements and put all that into something that's called a backlog and work over time. Okay. And see how we're going to improve.
All right, my bosses are listening. If they're interested, I'm sure they would reach out to you. But thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming through. I've been speaking with Adegoke John. He is a digital an agile business consultant, and he works with Solent Heights UK Limited, correct?
That's correct.
Fantastic. Louisa Mensah is also a Scrum Master. If you know Scrum, you understand Scrum Master, because I'm not going to explain that. I don't know. Louisa Mensah is also an agile business consultant as well, and she works with Barclaycard.
No, at the moment I've moved to Vodafone UK.
Vodafone UK. So she lives in the UK, but she is Ghanaian. And that is saying
Boko.
All right.